Welcome back, everybody, to the next video in a series on what is the best vehicle to live in for full timing. Today we're going to look at Class Bs, Class B RVs, and that's basically a term that refers to a van that's been built out as an RV. It's more complete than a conversion van, but smaller than a Class C. That might be what you think of when you most often think of an RV. So good things about a Class B: you get all the comforts of home. You know, it's going to have, everything will be tiny, but you're going to have, a kitchen and a bathroom and a bedroom. So you got everything you need in a small space, and usually they're pretty comfortable and cozy. Another advantage with a Class B is it's pre-built and ready to move in. You get a cargo van and convert it yourself, you're starting with a blank slate, so you can do whatever you want, but you have to build everything you want and figure it out and get it all in there. With a Class B, you get a van, but everything's already in there for you. So that can be a real convenience factor. The height can also be nice in the Class Bs because a lot of them are high top, so you may be able to stand up and walk around. Depends on the vehicle, but a lot of them do have the high tops. You can actually stand up and move around much more easily inside. Downsides of a Class B would include fuel efficiency. You're going to be starting with the fact that you got a full-size van, and then it's got a lot of weight in it and usually a high top, so the fuel efficiency is usually not going to be too great. Maybe better than a full, like a Class C RV or something, but usually worse than, for sure, than a minivan or a car. Another thing that can be a downside with Class Bs is the cost. They can be difficult to find used at all, and when you do find one, if it's in decent shape, they usually command a premium price tag. So if you're on a tight budget, you may find it hard to find a Class B that fits your budget. Maintenance can be a challenge on Class Bs, and it's something to be aware of. Like with any full-size van, the engine is difficult to service because it's hard to get to, and it's also, like with any RV, the installed systems, the refrigerator, the plumbing, the wiring, the furnace, whatever, they can be hard to get to, and in many cases will require tearing apart a lot of stuff to get an appliance out or to get to some wiring or plumbing that's faulty and needs repair. So that's something to be aware of if you're looking at a Class B, is that you may have some higher maintenance costs or higher time investments for maintenance if you're doing it yourself. Boondocking with an Class B, you can put solar on them, and a lot of them have generators as well, so you can get off the grid, but a lot of times with those you'll find the low ground clearance is an issue. On Forest Service and BLM roads, they can be really rocky or really rutted, and so you may have a hard time getting to some place you want to go because of the low ground clearance. When they design those things, they pretty much design them to go into campgrounds on pavement. So if you're trying to take them places they were never designed to go, you may run into some challenges with being able to get where you want to go. As far as recommendations, there's a few brands out there. Road Trek's a big one, obviously, and they don't come cheap. But I have a friend who has one, and it is really nice. So I know that one. I don't know much about the other Class B brands. But there's a few, but research the brand and make sure you know if it's got a good reputation, because you don't want to be buying a piece of junk that's going to cost you a ton of money and time every time you turn around for fixing things that are falling apart. But basically consider the age and condition and maintenance of the vehicle. The older it's basically a whole house on wheels. Every time it's driven, you're basically putting it through a hurricane and an earthquake at the same time, getting shaken in the wind and everything else. So, as they get older, you tend to have to worry about leaks, which can be really damaging, and also about some really expensive systems failing, refrigerators, ovens, or hot water heaters, furnaces, and so on. And this stuff can get expensive and difficult to replace. So you want to check out the condition of everything carefully, and while you're doing that, look for leaks, and then test everything that's installed in there. Test the stove and the oven and the hot water heater and the refrigerator, the plumbing, the wiring. If you can't test it, assume it doesn't work, because there's a good chance it doesn't work if you're not able to test it. So check all that stuff before you go and get into something like that. You don't want to buy something like that and then find out that you got thousands of dollars worth of repairs it needs to get it to where it's usable for you. So that about wraps up Class B's. You know, it's basically a luxurious van is what it is. You know, kind of a cross between, you know, your traditional Class C RV and or Class A RV and a van. So, you know, for some people it's the best of both worlds. It just depends on what your needs are. If you're looking for something the size of a van that fits into a standard parking spot, that's relatively easy to drive, but that has all the comforts of home, you may want to think about a Class B. Like I said, you get older, they can be a challenge to maintain, and you know, the low ground clearance may be an issue for you if you want to get into boondocking. That just depends on your style of camping and where you plan on hanging out. But I hope you got some useful information out of this video and gave you some answers to maybe some questions you had, or helped you think through some things about what might be the best vehicle for you. In our next video, we'll look at Class C RVs. Those are the more traditional, bigger, boxier ones. And, you know, meanwhile, you may want to hit that subscribe button so you keep up with all these videos. And I'll put a link to this entire playlist for this whole series in the description below. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.